the opening meeting, the electronic attendance registration has been done, and we now call on the Executive Mayor to deliver her address. Madam Mayor.
Goedemorgen. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I was going to also call for a moment of silence for Councillor Mbele and his cousin, and thank you for the ANC for raising it. But we've lost more lives in our country in the past month, and I think here about Minister Edba Malewa, also the famous open water swimmer Theodore Yak, and all of those people that have lost their lives in fires in the recent weeks. And I would like to call for a moment of silence for them too, Speaker.
Thank you. Can we stand for a moment of silence, please? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I would like to extend a warm welcome to representatives from the Auditor General's Office, our soccer club, City of Cape Town. Of course, AX are also here. And then we've got various communities this morning in the public gallery from Lavender Hill, Concerned Residents, Gugulethu Development Forum, Imazama Yetu, Gugulethu Women for Change, the Kwakania NGO, Women for Justice, as well as community members from across the city watching on the second floor. A warm welcome to all of you. Mr. Speaker, before I report on all the delivery that has taken place in the city in the recent month, I want to thank the firefighters and disaster risk management staff who worked tirelessly to assist the fire victims in Khayelitsha and also in Kosovo. A total of 342 households were affected by the fire in Khayelitsha, while another 120 in Kosovo were also affected by the fire. The City of Cape Town's informal settlement management and also the cleansing staff, contractors and emergency response teams had been working around the clock to assist the fire-affected residents in Khayelitsha and also Philippi. Operations have been underway and enhanced emergency fire kits have been delivered to all the fire victims to start rebuilding their lives. Now, with the hot weather starting now, there will be increased risk of fire, and I want to make a special appeal to all communities to please take greater care and help us avoid any more devastation as we have seen in the past week. I also want to thank all the NGOs and residents for their kind donations to help those that were affected by the fires. Thank you very much. Baie dankie, Sukran, Inkosi kakhulu. These fires cause great loss to residents, and it's especially taxing on our students that are writing their final exams. The city has made the Mayoral Relief Fund available, and the details for donations are Netbank, account number 1158667043 with the branch code 198765 and the reference number A0009. Mr. Speaker, at this time I have to turn to a matter of great importance, given the serious breach of council rules, where confidential council documents were leaked to the media ahead of this council meeting today. It is grossly unacceptable that councillors would leak information with malicious intent to injure my name. But this is nothing new. I have suffered vicious attacks to my good name for more than a year, and still people are trying and intend to destroy my good name. I have given my unwavering commitment to the people of Cape Town, and the evidence is in the massive support from the people across the city who are the beneficiaries of that commitment. It is a minority, some who are in this council, that are hell-bent on smearing my name. But I've said it many times before, I will not be deterred. I will not be stopped by anyone. Mr. Speaker, insofar as the Bowman's investigation and reports are concerned, I said from day one in this chamber that I welcome the investigation. I committed my full cooperation to them, and I've submitted all the reports whenever they've called on me. But I've also raised concern about the factual errors in a previous Bowman's report tabled in this council in January. But even so, I kept on cooperating with Bowman's all the time. And let me say it one more time. I have been fighting corruption all my life, and I will not allow anybody to smear my name. My name in this country has become synonymous with fighting corruption, and I will fight for my rights, and I will continue to do so to clear my name. I will not break, and I will not give in to this vehement, racist, bully attacks. Never. And I want to put it on record that I reserve my rights regarding any findings, recommendations, and conclusions contained in the Bowman's report. Public representatives have gone so far to spread fake reports about me, purportedly coming from the Auditor General of this country, Kimi Makwetu, showing complete disregard for the Auditor General and Chapter 9 institution. And I will very soon write criminal charges against those members that share this fake news on social media. Mr. Speaker, I note that you have written to councillors about the leaking of information in the Bowman's report, and that you've instituted a forensic investigation into the leaks. I hope that those responsible for this malicious behavior will be brought to book once and for all. And since this is not the first time that these reports are being leaked for malicious reasons. No one is above the law. We are all here to serve the residents and not our own political power interest. But with the leaking, put the leaking of the reports aside. I'm also happy to report to councillors, the media, and the public in the gallery that there's another report before council today from the Municipal Public Accounts Committee, which clears me of any wrongdoing regarding the security upgrades at my house, and I'm very happy about that. The report is on the public agenda of this council meeting, which deals with the investigation on MPAC. It was, of course, not convenient for the nameless, faceless people to leak that report that cleared me. Yes. As we all know, that the city used a 2014 threat analysis done by the South African Police Services to do the security upgrades at my house. And these upgrades, of course, took place at a time when I was doing other renovations at my house at my own cost, including closing my swimming pool because of the drought. The issue was the genesis of the political onslaught. This issue about my house was the genesis of the political onslaught which started against me, where all kinds of dirt and lies and allegations were thrown at me since September last year. Now, I would like to give those who accuse me of using city money to renovate my house a chance to publicly apologize. Failing so, I will take legal action against the accused. And Speaker, the reason why I'm doing this, Speaker, the reason why I'm doing this, because this accusation, Speaker, led to my family being subjected to media, politicians descending on my home, invading my privacy. So, of course, those who leaked the Bowman's report, those who leaked the Bowman's report are mum and quiet on the impact report, which clears my name of any wrongdoing. The same way, they did not leak to the media the report of the council earlier, which also cleared me of interfering in the appointment of area-based directors. That was also not leaked. But let me share some good news and the truth that I knew all along. The impact report before us today says that the installation of the trellis at my home amounted to just over 140,000 rand. This was only 28% of the cost of what the initial 2014 risk assessment advice should be done to secure my home. The amount of money spent by Impact to investigate this matter is 10 times more. What a waste of resources. So, a deviation was required to install the teledoors, and the deviation was obtained via a delegated authority. The report also says that no party has been enriched in the process and that the security upgrade was necessary to ensure my safety, while only a portion of the 2014 SAPS report risk cost was incurred. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, that puts the matter to rest once and for all. But unfortunately, it has tainted my name and it invaded the privacy of my family. I hope that those who were bold enough to make these allegations without the proof have the common decency to apologize for the reputational damage that they've caused to me. Mr. Speaker, I already have affidavits from all the people in the so-called SIU unit that did not speak to the media except one. I therefore challenge the SIU staff member, Mtutu Mbele Matambu, to also give me an affidavit that he did not speak to the media. Of course, the motivations of those who accuse me are clear, as they went wild in the media, hiding the identities of allowing proper city process to conclude whether anyone was at fault or not. Mr. Speaker, I would now like to provide feedback on the good work that has been happening in the city of Cape Town. A few weeks ago, I conducted an accountability roadshows to report back to the residents and account for the work that we have delivered over the past 7 years. I was joined by councillors from all the 4 areas, East, North, South, and Central, to account to residents and remind them about the upcoming delivery to the community in the current financial year. Accountability is one of the core values of the city administration, and it's important for public representatives to constantly reach out to residents to inform them about the upcoming projects in their areas. We address residents from areas like Mamre, Atlantis, Durbanville, Melkbos, Milnerton, Brooklyn, Maitland, Langa, Mitchells Plain, Philippi, Lotus River, and Grassy Park, just to name a few. I also use the opportunity to thank the residents for working with the city to save water. Together as Team Cape Town, we have been able to survive the drought. I also said to residents that there's still a lot more to be done so that more people can trace the fruits of our new democracy in our city. Housing is one of the biggest challenges, and I reiterated to the community the city's commitment to provide qualifying residents with housing opportunities. The record of the city between 2012 and 2018, we provided about 42,000 housing opportunities. But in the past financial year, for the first time in 18 years, the city exceeded its housing target by 62%. Well done to TDA. We must continue on this trend because we have set aside 2.1 billion rand on new housing opportunities over the next 3 financial years. That within this current financial year, 590 million has been budgeted for about 36 different projects across the city. Mr. Speaker, in terms of our commitment to redressing the imbalances of the past as a caring city, we've ensured that residents who were denied previously property ownership can claim that right. And so the city has ramped up the handover of title deeds over the past 5 years. And since 2011, we've handed over 16,000 title deeds to people who never had a title to their house. And as much as we have achieved in over the past years, there's still a lot to be done. There's still a lot to be done to bring about parity of services everywhere in our city. Local government is not just about delivering utility services, water, sanitation, electricity, and refuse removal. Local government is about 10 more departments, including 10 more departments and 10 services that we must deliver to the city of Cape Town. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, we have established the area-based service delivery model to make sure that we land all the services of all 10 departments in all the areas in the city of Cape Town. I remember in 2011, as my first inauguration as executive mayor, I told residents that I was determined to work day and night to live up to the confidence that they have expressed in the city of Cape Town. And that we will to ensure that we do justice to the hopes of millions of people out there, to the dreams and aspiration of millions of our people in our great city. And I also said to them that I became the mayor to serve the people of the city of Cape Town and not to be served. And as elected representatives, we must constantly give feedback and report to residents on what we have delivered and what we are still going to deliver, because we are accountable to the residents of Cape Town. Mr. Speaker, I'm also pleased to report to Council on the unprecedented delivery by the city's Transport and Urban Development Authority. TDA is making great progress to address the apartheid spatial planning, to end the practice of putting poor people far away from the city, far away from work opportunities, to the outskirts of the city. And so the TDA's Environmental Management Department also exceeded their job creation targets for the past financial year in terms of EPWP jobs, they set a target for 825 EPWP jobs, but they deliver 3,244 job opportunities. And I want to congratulate them for that. Mr. Speaker, at this time, I also want to commend the staff in the city's Water and Sanitation Department, who were recognized for upholding the highest health and safety standards amidst the big drought. So the city's Water and Sanitation Department recently celebrated the success that its bulk water branch achieved and maintaining its health and safety and quality standards while we were facing a drought. We are truly proud of all the individuals involved who won awards for their performance, which always exceeds expectation to deliver the best services to the people of Cape Town. Mr. Speaker, also in recognizing staff last week, I also called together the top 500 managers across the city and thank them for all the work that they have done. We work in very challenging circumstances, but the managers have led their teams to see Cape Town achieve many successes over the years. We have done great work, but we know that our commitment through the Organizational Development Transformation Plan, which was adopted in Council in August 26, is to make this great city even greater. So in the last 7 years, the city has received more than 90 international and national awards. In September of this year, the Finance and Fiscal Commission presented a report to MACO that showed that Cape Town provides the highest level of access to services in the country. The report stated that the city of Cape Town is providing flush toilets, wiki-left refuse removal at a higher percentage. Around 93.8% of households in Cape Town have access to a flush toilet. And 87.8% of households have refuse removed in Cape Town. And the city of Cape Town provides safe drinking water to 93.7% of households. And this is the second only to Johannesburg that provides safe drinking water of 94.1%. So the past year has also been a tough one for the water department. And I want to extend a special thanks to each person in the water department for their hard work. In May this year, we received a certificate of achievement from the International Water Association for reducing water demand by 55% in 2 years without resorting to intermittent water supply cut. And well done to the water department. This year, the city of Cape Town was also voted the #1 city for business tourism by the International Congress and Convention Association. And just last week again, we once again we were confirmed as the events capital of Africa at an award ceremony in Durban. So we have now been nominated to be recognized as the world's leading festival and events destination at the 2018 World Travel Awards that will take place in Portugal later this year. Speaker, we also made great progress with attracting investment and job creation. In August, Statistics South Africa stated that employment in Cape Town increased by 74,000 in the second quarter of 2018. And the city's expanded unemployment rate is the lowest of all metros in South Africa at 22.6%, below the national average of about 37%. Speaker, I can spend a long time talking about the achievements because we have kept Cape Town on top, and it's thanks to the councillors and the city staff and the commitment of the people of the city of Cape Town. Again tomorrow, we will be honoring individuals and teams for their outstanding work at the annual Mayor's Awards, where I will again thank all the staff for their great work. By recognizing staff, we are enhancing the workplace culture to motivate staff to continue delivering their best, which only benefits the people of our beautiful city. And finally, I want to extend my thanks to all councillors for all the work that you've done in communities. Keep pressing on and keep putting your communities first. That is the recipe for success. Baie dankie, thank you very much, Inkosi Kapoor, Sukran, and God bless.
Councillors, you have the opportunity to put questions to the Mayor in terms of Rule 11.2. The first question will come from Councillor Sotashi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Madam Mayor, in your open remarks, you sort of declaring this house as a house of truth.
Also?
You sort of declaring this house as a house of truth. And I hope that the truth will come out today. I just want to put a question to you, Madam Mayor. I know that you were away last week. Are you aware that the city manager was put under duress to sign an amount of over 822,000 rand to release the report that we have referred to, the Bowman report? The culprits who put the city manager under duress, they are sitting here.
Councillor Sotashi, that's a statement.
Yeah,
Make a
coupled
question,
to that,
please.
no, I've asked the question. I asked him, is she aware that the city manager was put under duress? That's not a statement, it's a question. Coupled to that, Madam Mayor, as a #1 citizen of Cape Town, as you referred that you've been labeled as a dishonest person, a person with the integrity that is questionable, are you aware that in the Department of Safety and Security, in this regard, that the Secretary of Alderman J.P. Smith has been appointed to be the regional inspector in the law enforcement department without following any due process in terms of recruitment selection? She was handpicked. Even the issue of salaries were determined in dark corners. If you didn't know about it, we are telling you about it now. We've got the information, we've got the evidence. What are you going to do about it? Because that department is run by the syndicate. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mr. Speaker, Councillor Sotashi, the truth will always survive. It might be slow in coming out, but it will always survive. So, Mr. Speaker, I was just reading through my reports this morning, and my micro reports, which we approved about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. There was a report before MACO to approve 822,000 deviation to pay Bowmans, and MACO approved that. By deviation, yeah, and MACO approved that. That will also, of course, come to council. So that's what I know about the Bowman's report. Nothing more.
Madam Mayor, you done?
The second question. What was the second question?
May I repeat, Mr. Speaker? Madam Mayor missed the second
Yeah.
question. The second question that I put. Yeah, no, the
Okay,
second question.
okay, the Mayor's got it. She's got it. She's got it. Okay, thank you. Madam Mayor? Yes.
I'm not aware about that. Maybe it will be reported later in a MACO report, but I'm not aware about that. Thank you.
Councillor Sotashi, I would like to point out to you, if there's any evidence of a councillor that has put the city manager under duress, we need to know about that. Thank you. Okay, and you haven't done it. Okay, Madam Mayor, this is answers under Rule 11.2. Can I have your permission? Do you mind if one of your MACO members, Alderman Smith, respond to certain allegations to him? No. Okay, thank you. No, the mayor is objecting. Thank you. Thank you. Councillors, we will continue. Councillors, order. Order, please. Order. Order. Councillor Teku of the EFF. Councillor Teku.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Now that, Madam Mayor, you have noted that there are fake news that are doing rounds in the social media. And also, there is a report of MPEC clearing you on the other side. And there is nothing happening about you on the social media in that regard. Now we want to understand, are you prepared to leave this council with that dark cloud over your head? Or you are prepared to take on those cowboys on the other side who are so much determined to taint your image before you leave here, only because you are originally coming from the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania?
Thank you. Madam Mayor.
Mr. Speaker, I have been on a campaign for the past year, almost 18 months, to clear my name. And as I've said, up till now, I've not been found guilty of anything. But all of those untested allegations were put out there, and as a citizen that respects the rule of law, I'm following due process by going through the right channels, which is to ask people to apologize, failing which I will sue them for defamation of character. I cannot leave with a dark cloud hanging over me. I will ask whatever council decide today, I will ask the speaker to charge me as soon as possible so that I can remove that dark cloud hanging over me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Haskin. Councillor Haskin of the ACDP.
Speaker, thank you. Good morning, Mayor. That answer that the Mayor's given is clear, but I don't know if it goes far enough. Speaker, the question to the Mayor is, given that Council, the administration and the ratepayers need stability, need of leadership, need credibility, the city needs credibility, and given that you have the right to defend yourself against the accusations made against you, whether you are Mayor or not. So the question is, will you be upholding your resignation letter, or will you be staying on as Mayor, given yesterday's media reports that you intend retracting your resignation?
Madam Mayor.
I'm sorry, Councillor Grant-Haskins, you're not my shop steward. I'll speak for myself. I'll speak for myself. It's none of your business.
Thank you. The next councillor is Councillor Nettie, DA.
You've been asked to ask that question. I know.
So there's no answer to the question, Speaker.
Councillor Nettie.
Thank you.
I asked a question and I didn't get an answer.
Councillor Nettie.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I would like to ask a question to Mayor in relation to the Kailicha fire that has happened during the weekend.
Yes.
I would like to know if the city has made enough interventions and what are the processes in place to prevent more fires to happen. Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Speaker, I really want to extend my heartfelt sympathies to all of those communities affected by the fire. From the city side, I think we've really tried our best. And that is why I thank the firefighters and all the teams working around the clock. The city provided emergency material, we provided poles, Capetonians opened up their hearts and they made big donations. And for that, I also want to thank Capetonians. These fires, and we are entering the fire season now, I can assure Councillor that the disaster risk management are prepared for the fire season, and they always prepare well in advance to deal with the fires that will come in the summer month. And also, that's why I've asked also communities to help us to prevent fires. That is still the best way. But yet, yes, we are ready to respond. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Majingo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mayor, in your achievements, in your road shows, you've spoken about TDA, and you said to serve our communities, we must make sure that we press on. Now I'm going to press on. In your launch speech in January 2014 about N2 Express, you said the N2 Express is the largest BEE deal that has ever been signed in the city of Cape Town. And you went further to say that it will allow the former taxi operators to establish their own company and manage my city together with Golden Arrow. Fast forwarding it to today, in June 2018, there was a strike that was averted after the fourth extension because the city claimed not to be ready. That extension goes up until 2019 in June next year. Now, in your own honest opinion or observation, do you think the N2 Express company is operating and are the former taxi operators empowered? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Fortunately, I personally also engage with the leadership of Codeta, the Mitchells Plain Association, and all of them. And we have always been able in the past 3 years, if there are any problems, we are able to sit around the table and discuss. And I must commend the leadership of the taxis that have always risen to the occasion and work together with us. And similarly with the extension for the fourth time. Yes, the vehicle operating companies that we have established in the city of Cape Town, it is the biggest BBBEE project of the city. And we continue because we provide the buses and the companies operate the buses. So we always work very closely, and I will certainly pick up the phone, if you can give me the details, but I can pick up the phone to the leader of Codeta and find out, is there anything that they're unhappy about, and then call them, and then we can meet with them. I'll commit to do that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Arnold.
Good morning, Madam Mayor. My question to you is now, you have mentioned now the good work of TDA. And, you know, it's for us as the EFF, we want to advise you to follow the lead of your colleague, your mayoral colleague there in Joburg, who is without no fear or favor insourcing security workers, cleaners, and also bus drivers. So my question to you is, because that is now what the workers of the city of Cape Town, and also the bus drivers, the cleaners, those who are working here, that is outsourced by companies, which is exploited by them. What are you going to do now? Because it is clear from our side that the DA is not championing any workers' projects anywhere. So can you just now answer us in terms of the question? The other thing that I want to raise with you is Councillor Brent Heron, through the Speaker, he promised on Monday, I was in his office, he promised on Monday that he will come out to the workers just to listen to the workers. But he's just making media statements confusing the public of what is going on. And I think that is not on for me as a councillor. If you say you're going to come and you don't come, that councillor must actually be taken to the disciplinary committee. Thanks.
Thank you. Madam Mayor.
Speaker, two issues. The current strike by the workers, it's an illegal strike. I did have a meeting with Councillor Arnolds. My advice to him was, let us follow due process and let's follow the right channels of communication. The workers are represented by a union, and that the union, through the collective agreement, must take up those issues with the vehicle operating companies, which is using the city buses, but they operate those buses. I also further said to Councillor Arnolds that even though it's an illegal strike, he must go back to the workers and he must ask for a delegation, and the delegation must come, and then I'm prepared to meet with them to listen to them. Now, I had a conversation with Councillor Brett Herron around the same thing, and I said to him that the city is now in the middle because the buses belong to the city that they are operating. And somewhere the city and the unions and the management of the companies need to meet to try and address this issue. So I hope that can still happen very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Bazir.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, everybody. Morning, Mayor.
Morning.
My question is, yesterday the community of Makassar was without water. They were working on a pipe, but it has been for 3 days. Day 0, as was previously thought of, it did not happen, because if there was a water plan in place yesterday for the community of Makassar, we wouldn't have had to drive around with 3 trucks trying to serve the whole community with water, which was a disgrace yesterday. My other issue is, Speaker, to the Mayor, the toolkit. Thank you, Mayor. I was in Kosovo as part of my sub-council. 120 people, shacks burned down, 1,000 displaced. The toolkit that has been, we have approved a full toolkit in this council. To date, a full toolkit is not being given to fire victims. They get 5 roof plates, they get a few things, but they have to do the others out of their own. I think that once a council have made a decision in terms of a council resolution for a full toolkit, it must be implemented as such. I've spoken to some of the officials. They've told me that they do not have a budget for a full toolkit. So I want to check the implementation of a council resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Speaker, I will request Councillor Basile to write me an email with all the details, and then I can investigate and revert back to her.
Thank you, Councillor Yosi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The same with the water. I will speak to Councillor Limburg also.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Councillors, good morning. Morning, Mr. Mayor.
Morning.
We welcome the intervention that was provided in Kailicha and Philippi respective fires. The worry that we have, Madam Mayor, is that there seems to be no substantial material change of the conditions on the ground of these 2 areas, including Houtbay. Therefore, we worried that this assistance has been continuously given by the city. To that extent, Madam Mayor, the Western Cape Premier, Madam Helen Ziller, said that in a tweet, the people of Kailicha burned themselves down. Do you share our views, Madam Mayor, or this is a view of the Democratic Alliance? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've certainly not seen the tweet by Premier Helen Ziller, so I can't comment on that. And around the other issues that you've raised now, I don't have all the details. I'll ask you the same to send me an email, and then we can investigate, and I can revert back to you. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Mayor, we're running out of time and we have 2 questions. Please keep it short. It's Councillor Sondani.
Andibulise endlini Nkosi Somlomo. Somlomo sowuthathe umbuzo wami.
Yima.
Into ezayithetha ngoku yoba
Madam Mayor, you have your earphone, I think.
Somlomo sowuthathe lo mbuzo. Kangangokuba ngoku umeya andifuna ube nimphazamisa ngombuzo kuba sifuna ANC akaqondane ngqo nabandlebe ezikhanyilanga bamoshana nobomi bakhe. So lo mbuzo ke sizawumisa umeya afumana amandla ajongane naba ndlebe zikhanyilanga bamoshana nobomi bakhe nale council. Nkosi mhlanga phambili.
Madam Mayor, I think you want to respond. That's a statement made by the councillor,
Yes, no, thank
trying
you.
to give you education. Councillor Gunkwe.
Morning, Speaker. Councillor Kunqe.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
close,
Morning, councillors. Morning, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, my question is on TDA. When you addressed us, Madam Mayor, you said TDA have achieved a certain percentage, and you are proud of TDA. But my question, Madam Mayor, is when TDA is starting to build houses in the area of Joslovo, Danon, and the other areas in area north, because that's an area where you have not spoken about each and every time you speak in this house. When is it you are going to address that so that service delivery can go to those areas?
Well, Speaker, I took the mayoral pop-up office there about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you were around. I went to Joslovo and Danon, and we listened to the communities there. I was accompanied by Councillor Suzette Little. And when we drove into the area, there was an overflow sewage drain, and the things were just running into the street. We stopped, and I called the city's water department, and we spoke to Pierre Maritz to come out immediately to come and fix that. And I must say the water department were there within 20 minutes. Because of the growth and the overflow of people in the area, I've never seen how people living almost on top of each other, on pavements, and behind the Joslovo informal settlement, there's also a water retention pond. People living right inside the water retention pond. Part of the water retention pond was full of water, and it was full of things dumped in there. And we moved in that same day to go and try and clean up there. We have arranged a meeting with the leadership to give them all the future plans, everything that's in the budget for Joslovo and the Noon. I've also visited the Noon about 2 months ago. So we try and engage with the leadership in the area, and then hoping that they will then go and report further to their constituencies. But we are working on there. The city has put aside about 20 million rand to upgrade the sewerage system there. So work is being done there, and I can send the council a full report, and the report that I gave to the residents when I visited them there 2 weeks ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That concludes the question and answer time. Councillors, we go to
Mr.
section
Speaker,
3.
Just before we proceed to the next item, I just want to ask a question to you. I called you, I think, the day before yesterday, and I was raising the same concern that the mayor raised today here on the issue of the confidential information of council being leaked to the media with its full contents. Yet as councillors, we are restricted to talk about this particular...
I will attend to that later.
Let me quickly finish, Mr.
Yes.
Speaker. I just want to ask a question. Since now this matter also has been brought up in the speech of the mayor, don't you think that it is important that we move that matter, because the second meeting that you are going to refer to, it's an in-committee meeting, and that meeting must take a decision. But because now also the mayor has made a reference to the leaking of that information, don't you think that it is in the best interest of this chamber and the best interest of the public that we bring that matter to the open meeting of the council so that we can talk about it freely? The mayor can be able to respond whatever she wants to respond. We as councillors, we can be able to interrogate the report. And then also members of the public can be allowed to question whatever they want to question. So I'm really pleading, and I indicated to you that as ANC, we're going to put that matter when we arrive here in council.
I will attend to that matter under Rule 8.3 when we go to the second meeting. Councillors, Section 3, applications for leave, Chief Whip.
Thank you, Speaker. If you allow me just a few seconds, I just want to say, Mayor, this could have been your last speech as the Mayor, but it's not your last speech. I want to say, as a South African icon, it's a privilege to serve with you as your Chief Whip. And in the same breath, I cannot stand what is happening in this chambers. Therefore, I resign, Speaker, as the Chief Whip. I resign as a DA councillor, and I resign as a member of the Democratic Alliance. Thank you.
Speaker. Speaker.
Order.
Speaker.
Order, please. Councillor Councillor Satashi. Order. Order, please. Order. Councillors, application for leave.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr.
Can you give me the list of applications for leave? Please do that.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, good morning. I have attending another meeting later today.
Mr. Speaker, point of... No. You're coming with the old one again. It's not the Chief Whip. It's not that, an old story. Yes. Councillor, I need to get point 3 for the records of council. Yeah. Councillor Satashi. Do you want to read the apologies? Who do you want to read the apologies? Okay. Councillors? Councillors? Order. Councillors? Councillors, I'm going to make the following ruling. The names on the list that the Chief Whip has left and disappointed me with that, the list he left there, that list I'm going to forward and write it into the record. I'm making that ruling. Can you give me that list, please? Councillor, this list, it comes from the Chief Whip's office. I'm going to write it into the record. Thank you. I'll give you the opportunity now. Urgent matters, City Manager.
There are no urgent matters, Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Councillor?
Mr. Speaker, point
Speaker,
of order,
with
please.
due respect, I would like to ask you to allow us as the Democratic Alliance to have a quick caucus, please.
Mr. Speaker, Mr.
Okay, councillors, you must give me the time span, please.
Mr. Speaker.
15 minutes. Councillor, I want you to know 15 minutes, please, and I need to carry on. We have quite a thick agenda. Please, 15 minutes. Councillor Nikelo, 15 minutes. We have quite a large agenda. Ruling by the Speaker to write it into the record. adjournment. The normal practice is if you come back after a caucus, is there anything you would like to report back? Or can I continue with the meeting?
Speaker, continue with the meeting. The DA backs the proceedings of this council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Councillor Sotashi.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, as ANC, we would request a 15 minutes caucus based on these developments that have taken place in
Okay.
council.
Councillor Sotashi, before you take the 15 minutes, it's in order with me, but I would like to make the following announcement. That at 3:30, we have quite a heavy agenda. 3:30, if we're not through the open meeting agenda, I will adjourn the meeting and I will start the special council meeting and handle the Bowman's report at 3:30 today. So please take note of that. You may have your 15 minutes.
No, sorry, Mr. Speaker. Just before we move to our caucus, you are raising a point that I think it concerns you. Are you saying that by 3:30, if we are not done with the business of the day, you will put aside all other items and deal with the Bowman report? Is it what
I
you're
will
saying?
adjourn the meeting.
Sorry?
I will adjourn the meeting which you received notice for. There's 2 meetings today.
Yes.
I will adjourn the first meeting
Okay.
till further notice.
Okay.
And I will continue with the second meeting of the day, of which the contents is the Bowman's report.
Okay.
Thank you. You have
15 minutes, thank
15 minutes. 1:45. Thank you. Now, the DA, are you going to start singing?
abuse that she's gone through, the name smearing, the victimization, and that's one of the reasons me leaving the Democratic Alliance. Today I resigned as the Chief Whip, as a councillor and as a DA member for the reasons that racism is still alive within the DA. If we look at the 20 directors posts at the national office, 14 of them are white. If we look at the provincial managers' positions in the province, all of them are white. If we look at all the staff in national parliament working, those that's leading and directing the offices, all of them are white. We, black and colored, we are the tea girls in the DA's office, doing administration work, doing, making the tea and coffee, cleaning up or whatever they have to do. But having the center of power and being involved in the elections, we find that over the last 4 elections, all 4 campaign managers in the province and city, they're white. I was the operations manager of 2011 elections and 2016 elections, ensuring that we implement the strategies, yet your boss would be a white person. So I'm not saying that all whites in the DA are racist. What I'm saying is that a few of them that's in strategic positions, they are the racist. If we look at when certain councillors, senior white councillors in the city of Cape Town, lays charges at FedEx against other councillors, their charges are accepted immediately, and FedEx deals with those councillors. When me as the Chief Whip lay charges at FedEx, those charges are not being seen to, it's not been looked at, and definitely it shows to us that certain people have different laws in this party and others must be subjected. If we look at the fact that the people that turned their backs, we look at Angus Mackenzie that leaked to the media about certain caucus details, nothing gets done and no disciplinary happens with him. We are subjected to disciplinary, we are subjected to Steenhuisen reports where 4 allegations was against me. I've dealt with all 4, I've put the proof on the table, and up until today, no apologies. We are tired. I am tired of being bullied and victimized by the DA and by members of the DA, and can no longer work for a party that does not share the views of what they preach. If we understand, 18 months ago, Alan Winde it was an open secret, he would be the premier candidate, Alan Winde, because the minority of this province that holds the majority of money has determined that. So for Bongi Kosi going through interviews, there's no freedom, fairness or opportunities. 2 months ago, when Patricia de Lille announced her resignation, Dan Plato's office was packing up. 2 months prior the interviews. There's no freedom, fairness and opportunities in this party. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm leaving. I cannot stomach the DA for what they are doing to us, and I say to them, all the best.
What is your opinion on how the DA has treated Patricia de Lille?
Like I said, the bullying tactics, the continuous smear campaign today, item 38, and this is the first time it's being said, item 38, which is the trolley door case, they discussed it this morning. JP wants to withdraw the item from the agenda. It withdraws it because it will come out now that the mayor is cleared of this, and the caucus agreed on it. Yet, the item is there, it's there for the public, and now they want to withdraw because Patricia's name is being cleared, and they just cannot understand and stomach that. We do know that they will bring a motion of no confidence soon in the mayor if she does not resign. So that's what they need to deal with. We will focus on the ground, go to our constituencies, see what they want us to do and how to map our future forward, and we will then respond accordingly. Thank you.
Sean, 2 questions quickly. The first question is on the agenda of today's council meeting. You have, there were disciplinary investigations into 2 councillors. The one is, both of them are DA councillors. Very contradictory outcomes of both of them. You were the chief for during those investigations. You were ultimately responsible for the conduct of councillors in the council. Do you think that process of the 2 councillors were fairly conducted? That's one question. The second question, sorry, is that you also a member of one of the executive structures, or were of the executive structures of the DA. Did you raise any of these concerns on the reasons why you're resigning today through that structure?
Firstly, the DC, I do serve on the disciplinary committees within the city. The DC panel has applied their mind, and that's the outcome. I'm not going to speak for the disciplinary committee. But if we look at, I am also the deputy chairperson of the provincial executive of the DA. I am Anton Bredel's deputy chair. I have raised this not just at PEC. I've got proof of many letters that I've written to Musi Maimane and to James South, which I've openly said to them that they are treating us like stepchildren within this party. The 40 councillors, 39 councillors that voted against the motion on the 15th of February was victimized and bullied continuously up until today. So we cannot, and we will not, and we're not able to stand for those kind of things anymore. There's a lot of letters that I've got proof of and can show to you and send to you, but we've openly said to Musi Maimane, look after us, we are being victimized on many platforms, and they just close their eye, close the blind eye, and just let the others proceed what they wanted to do.
Anybody else want to say anything, Suzanne?
Yes.
Do you want to move the microphone?
It most certainly isn't, it wasn't an easy decision, because we are taking a step in terms of ethics. We walk away from a paying position, like most other people are saying that, you know, it's because we're going to something. We've got no idea where we're going to. People can speculate, but as I'm sitting here, I've got no idea where I'm going to. But I cannot sit and understand what is going on and not have a voice in my own party to raise issues. And if I do raise the issues, I'm seen as a mayor's collaborator, or I'm in favor of the mayor. And simple questions like, when the investigation started, right at the beginning, the deputy mayor brought a resolution with a whistleblower statement into the caucus. I was the caucus chair at the time. He brought that statement into the caucus. Accompanying him was James South and Musi Maimane. The councillors did not have a chance to discuss or understand what was in that document. We were told by the party that if we do not vote in favor of this investigation, we would be fired. Now, already the start of this investigation raised a number of questions. Now, you cannot expect people to just go ahead. I am not the type of person to just follow. I'm a councillor. I represent the people of the city. I have a responsibility to the people. The people elected us into a position, and therefore I have a responsibility as a councillor. And the Constitution says I have an oversight. That oversight then says I must question what is before me. I therefore cannot just follow somebody because they tell me to. Unfortunately, they do not understand my personality. I am not a follower. I am a leader in the city. And I will remain so, and I will serve the communities. All those things that I have promised my communities, I will return, I will assist them, because that is what our communities need. We actually need politicians that are representing the community, so that the community can hold them accountable. Currently, our politicians are accountable to the party, and what the party says goes. And that is a flaw in our system. And that system must be changed. We must educate our communities as to what their power and where their power lies, because we cannot continue allowing a political party to govern, and they don't even know where the Cape Flats is.
Suzanne, when you left the chamber earlier, you also alluded to racism that you've had to endure over the past few months. What kind of racism have you had to endure?
I have had the investigation that was launched against me a few months ago, when things were leaked into the newspaper. One of the councillors told my staff that if they lay a formal charge against me, they will be supported with a job. That staff member is currently sitting in the city waiting for that job, because he is now listed as a whistleblower. Nobody can tell me under what paragraph or section of the whistleblower's policy or act he is still being held. But that is being held over you so that you behave. So if anything happens and you don't toe the line, these charges appear. I employed a lawyer to find out what were these charges about. The Speaker said it was placed in abeyance. It's been in abeyance since July. And I cannot have that over my head when I know that the councillor had encouraged the staff to do so. It's a white councillor. When the community informed the Speaker about it, they actually found that the councillor had no wrongdoing. And that's what I'm talking about. The same rules that apply for my white colleagues does not apply for me. And that is unfortunate.
Wouldn't it make more sense to stay on and fight this racism instead of quitting your jobs and leaving the city?
I will be more effective outside of this party. While I'm inside this party, I have to abide by their rules. And if I'm going to speak out, I'm going to be fired anyway. And so let me leave so that I have the freedom to speak my mind on what I have seen. I'm also aware of the fact that I have no surprise that they will try and character assassinate me or any one of the five, because that's what is normally done. And our people will listen to what they are saying because they come across extremely convincing. But I'm prepared for that.
Just here, Kusia.
I must say that after many years of observing how the Democratic Alliance operates, where it has policies that are purported as transformation or driving transformation, and how that has become a farce because it is not true. And I do believe that even the whole country do understand that Democratic Alliance is struggling with the black economic empowerment. They're speaking in forked tongues. They do not know how to deal with the imbalances of the past. But having said that, I have observed how Patricia has pushed the transformational agenda within the city of Cape Town to make sure that apartheid special planning is corrected. And I have observed my colleagues how they have been resistant when it comes to any issue or item that seeks to right the wrongs of the past. And also on the issue at hand of the treatment of Patricia de Lille. From the word go, I myself, it's unfortunate that I did not get to speak to Musi, whom I have perceived all along that he is just a black puppet and are being used to fool black people in this country. I spoke to James Self in the council that please make sure when Patricia is being investigated, or this matter that you are bringing before us is being investigated, that due process is being followed and that the rule of law is being upheld. I'm not going to repeat what Councillor Little has alluded to, that there were threats, how we're going to vote, and hence Patricia went to court so that we can be able to have the freedom to choose how we are going to vote. It was due to those threats that we were subjected to as those who support Patricia. So having said that, after we voted, we were ill-treated. We lodged complaints with the Democratic Alliance national leadership. They came to us, but nothing came out of it. And I've seen how white councillors raise issues, especially JP, who has made Patricia de Lille his project, actually. Whatever that he says, the Democratic Alliance leadership believes. And he himself, he once in the caucus said that this is not between, this is between me and Patricia. That's what he said. And I was asking myself a question. If this is between JP and Patricia, where do we all fit in at the end of the day when it is between him and Patricia? So having said that, all of the allegations and even the John Steenhuisen report and the allegations that are here, and you've seen how they want to smoke all the item 38 out of the agenda because they do not want anything that is going to prove and clear Patricia that he's not guilty of all the false accusations that they have been labeled, that they have labeled her on. And having said that also, the Democratic Alliance believes that You can say lies 10 times and hopefully that one day it will evolve into a truth. And unfortunately, in this country, we have a constitution and we have a sound and working justice system that any allegations must be put to test. And that is exactly what Patricia has done for each and every allegations that they have labeled her on, that she put it before the courts for the courts to decide. And the courts 3 times have decided, and they are still going to decide tomorrow. So for me, I then had enough that if I want to be in politics and I still want to push the agenda to transform our communities, me myself coming from a poor background and working in poorer communities, I cannot stand a party that is a stumbling block when it comes to transformational agenda. For example, the 4 area-based, the ODTP, with us as 4 area-based MECO members. That was planned to make sure that we bring government closer to the people, not people to government, but government to the people. And having said that, to ensure also parity of services. Now, parity of services says the bulk of the budget of the city of Cape Town must be spent in poorer communities. And the white people within the Democratic Alliance took offense with the ODTP. And I will not be surprised that immediately when Dan Plato, whom they say he sleeps in meetings, because JP said so, that Dan Plato, while he's chairing the meeting, he sleeps. I don't know how many times he's going to sleep now. That's why I call him the new old mayor. And having said that, I will not be surprised that immediately when a new council is established, the first thing on the agenda would be to do away with the ODTP. Now you must know exactly, when they do away with the ODTP, they want to do away with any services that must go to black and colored communities. And that is the stand that I am taking, actually. And I have resigned from the Democratic Alliance, and I do not want tomorrow to be called a former DA councillor. You can refer to me as a former executive mayor's area representative, because I represented the mayor and the interest of the people of Cape Town. And having said that, it's not about black and colored, it's about everybody.
Exactly.
Okay, can we just give
You said
to Greg as
earlier
well?
that this is the best decision you could have made for yourself. Elaborate on that.
Yes, because I must say, when Patricia was subjected to this, I said to Patricia, because Patricia has got this tendency of saying that you are not my shop steward, I can speak for myself. And I respectfully said to her, Madam Mayor, this time around, this is no longer your fight. It is our fight too. And I said to her, I am prepared to resign from the Democratic Alliance, because when you met me, I was poor, I had nothing, I had no place to stay in Cape Town. I had no food whatsoever. And then she gave me the opportunity to stand. And growing up, being poor, for me to take a principled stand and lose a salary. In fact, I must say, I give joy in fight. I get joy and fulfillment in fighting against injustice. Yes. The salary has brought so many problems because I've got bonds, I've got loans that I must pay. But when I stand having nothing and standing for what I believe in terms of the advancement of our communities, that's what I find fulfillment in, actually. So that's when then I decided that I want to resign. And Patricia said to me, that was in March. And she said to me, Sia, you won't be able to fight outside. You must fight from the inside. I fought from the inside. Now I have reached the end of that fight, which I will be fighting on the outside, fighting the Democratic Alliance. And I must make sure that in 2019, that the Democratic Alliance in the province of the Western Cape is relegated to opposition benches, and that they have sent to obscurity, and that they are thrown in the dustbin in the history of, what do you call it? Whatever you call it, but they must be thrown somewhere, whatever, if it's dumping site or wherever, they must be thrown somewhere.
I have a question about the DA spending so much money on these investigations, where in council more than 800,000 rand was spent. Even the courts have found that the mayor, that Patricia de Lille, is not guilty.
No, it's not the DA.
Well, the city
is the city. But just to say to you that the trailing door issue that went and was leaked to the media continuously was to the value of 140,000 rand. We have spent over 700,000 rand just on the investigation, and the report says to us today that she is cleared of all disciplinary proceedings and of all allegations. So that's just to show you that they are hell-bent on tarnishing Patricia de Lille's name, and we can no longer stand it. But I just want Councillor, or not Councillor, I just want Greg and Tulani just to give their comments as well, please. Greg.
Okay, I want to state this without fear or favor. The DA is a party that is only advancing whites. And I've been in the party since 2010. 2016, I became a PR councillor, deployed in Atlantis, and essential services such as your Metro Police headquarters moved to Bonteville. Solid waste moved out of Atlantis to Montague Gardens. The housing office most recently moved out of Atlantis to Perro, meaning making service delivery can never be fast, effective, and efficient as they promise the people, which is lies. And now you as a councillor have to deal with those issues day in and day out. And I'm not a one that will deceive the community. I would rather take a back stand and move out. But I would like to tell the community, they are busy with their campaigns. When they come to your door, chase them away. They're a bunch of liars, they're a bunch of deceivers, and I'll be waiting for them at the end because I'm coming for them.
I think it's the decision I've taken today. It's a decision one of, say, as a young black South African, I would not want to see my blacks and colored and other young people suffered in the DA. The jobs in the DA, if you go to UCT and being white, you are guaranteed a job at the National Office of the DA. I can no longer stand that, or can no longer stand. You're going to see on the campaign, on the door-to-doors, it's going to be our people going to be on the ground. They're going to be sitting in offices. Everybody's a strategic planner. He's a planning officer. But when it comes to the diligence of work, they will not be there. Let me take a serious note. Joy McCarthy, who's the councillor of the DA, she was given a privilege because her recommendation was different from Councillor Sweetness Mzolise. Why would it be that? Because Sweetness, she never believed in the white, or she's been treated differently from the party. As I sit here, young person, we see issues. I'll tell you yesterday in our caucus, we have turned away a project will bring housing into the city because it's not meant for the people of town. It's not meant, it's going to degrade the houses. When do we close the special pen of the apartheid? When is it good for them to say to the people, you can come closer to town? We will never be used as puppet to convince our people. I've got 2 years as a councillor. I cannot hold on for the next 3 years to go and lie to the people door to door. There were people who had birthdays using the public money, but DA, those things have been quiet. I'll tell you, I've attended the conference of the DA. That is not a conference, it's a seminar. Everybody's treated. We went to go into Tshwane for the Lille clause. Where was everybody? Because they were there to supplement the mission. A woman was being victimized by the DA in the name of principle. DA always say to the ANC, let the laws, let the court of law prove you are not guilty. Today, when we say the same thing to them, it's a different story. They say it's investigation. Until what point of investigation? I had enough of the DA. I'm no longer a councillor of the DA. I'm an ordinary citizen who will fight for the justice of the people. I will be in the forefront to lead the people of Cape Town to get their services. We will come and march to the Civic Center. We are waiting for Dan Plato to come and give us the surety that our people and the project that are in the hand currently now, we will fight them. If it means we lose our lost spend, we will use our own money, but we will fight the DA to the core of the bone. 2019, be assured, we are coming after them. Let them be strategic. We are going to be part of this movement. We're going to be social activists.
I just want to say to Suzette and Sean, you've both left top jobs,
all of us.
All of you, yeah, councillors as well. It just seems though that only 5 people walked out, right? So why are not more people speaking up? Are people being victimized by the party? Are people being told to keep quiet or they will lose their jobs? What's happening?
Sorry, Chief.
Sean, not you.
Sean.
You can respond.
Let me say this. It's very difficult, and I do appreciate it, and this is why I do not want to speak for others. It is very difficult. When I made this decision, I had to speak to my family. I am a praying woman, believe it or not, hence the fact that people have charged me for praying. I will continue praying. It's the source of my power. I will continue praying. And so I went to my church. I went to my Pastor Lamb. I went to my husband and my family. And this was not a decision I made lightly. And so I don't expect people to come to the same conclusion I have come to. They do table. And so I will not speak for them. I do believe that in the next few days we will probably have a number of calls from people to ask how they could possibly do the same. I don't know. But I do know that there are a number of councillors that are unhappy.
Agree.
I agree.
My question is to the group. Was this planned? You now mentioned that there are, and I think we're all aware that there are councillors who are unhappy. I mean, if we take a look at the 39 who voted against, the 40, sorry,
You'll be
voted
voting
against. Was this planned? And when did this planning start, if it was planned?
Let me say, I think we've been unhappy since the 15th of February. And since the 15th of February, people were speaking to one another that of their unhappiness within the party. And as the question was posed earlier on, we have tried, we have fought from the inside, we have sent emails, we have had meetings with James Health and with Musi. We have engaged our leadership to the extent where we went to Parliament, we've put it on email, we've had Sunday meetings with them to ensure that, or to say to them that what they are doing to us, they are turning a blind eye. So since the 15th of February, after the victimization has started, people were speaking to families, people were speaking to each other and saying, you know what, I actually don't want to be here. You know what, I cannot stand being part of the DA knowing that what they are doing is wrong. We've attempted over these last, 8 months, and in last week we started again speaking to one another, and this week we've decided, look, this is what we want to do. We cannot stand and sit in these chambers anymore and lie to our families and our friends and communities out there that we are actually supporting the political party that we are elected for in council. So we took the bold step today. That's it. We made our decision and we'll move forward on that.
Sean, you did earlier mention that you're not planning on joining, or that you haven't made your decision yet on your next move. What about the other 4? There are talks of DA members starting a new party. What about your supporters? Because obviously you have supporters who voted for you as well. For who do your supporters vote now? Because you're saying that you're leaving the DA. Obviously you have a support base leaving with you. For who do they vote now?
I think you've actually answered your own question, that it's actually time for us, because we've actually never had a chance to sit and talk. We've reacted to what has been done to us. The one thing that we are sure of as we're sitting here, that we serve our communities. I didn't become a councillor, or none of us became councillors to serve. We have been serving our communities for many years. And so we will still continue serving those communities that we have committed to. But the way forward is something that we must now actually go back and decide on. What does this way forward look like? And that is not a decision that we've made yet. And so, as Sean has just mentioned, it was in this last week that we just had enough. It's not going to improve. The vindictiveness, the spite, the malice, it just cannot carry on.
We're just hurtful.
It's time that we actually get to the point where we must find a way forward, because our communities are messed up. Our communities are being destroyed while we waste money on a trelly door. We waste money on investigations. That money is meant for services. Our community doesn't need more policing. Our communities need more social services. Our people are damaged from an apartheid system that people tell us we must get over. Apartheid's not a wall I climb over. It's a system that's embedded in our people's makeup. It's embedded in our society. And we must get help to our people. We cannot continuously condemn the child that's on drugs, condemn this and condemn that. We must provide services. But we have the time to spend money on an investigation. And if it's not the right answer, we investigate it again. And if it's still not the right answer, we investigate it again. Until such time as we get the right answer. Whose money is being spent? And when you raise these issues, in the party, you are being seen as, well, it's because she supports the mayor. No, it's not. I support the people out there. I live in Athlone. I live in those areas. I know what it's like when our people are crying out for help and there's nobody to help them. When children are being raped and are going missing and there's no help. You see, that is what drives me. Sorry.
Sir, I just have a last question from my side.
Can I just add to that? I think we are servant leaders, so we're serving the community in whatever capacity. So tomorrow will be the same. Only difference would be you're not going to be paid for it. But let me put this on the record. The way forward, Cape Town, the Western Cape, needs a new order. What that new order is, I don't know. But like Suzette mentioned, there's discussions, we will sit, we will engage because change is needed.
Yes.
I want to end off by just saying we are aware of DA tactics. Character assassination will start now on Facebook and social media, and all different things would be said of the 5. But we are 5 hard-working councillors. We've been hard-working in this DA for many years. And if whatever the problem they're going to have, they had to say that then. Why wait till when we leave? So we are aware of that character assassination. We are prepared for that, and we will deal with it accordingly when it happens. I think that's it. I'm not sure if there's any other questions.
I think for us, we will go back. We will reflect on this journey. It was never an overnight decision. Remember, when we made this decision, it was a decision that we had looked at a number of issues. And even the people that are behind us, we are saying to them, give us a couple of 2 weeks so that we can revenge ourselves and look at what can we do. Like I've said in the beginning, we are social justice people. Before we are appointed to be councillors, we've been working in the communities. We won't stop. Like my colleague said, it was not about the money. Because it was, for me, about the money. I should have stayed for the 3 years and complete my term. I've never came here for asset. I came here for the change of the people. I came when they made the manifesto. If they've decided to change when we came inside, unfortunately, I, for one, I cannot be part of that journey. I'm here to serve the people of the Western Cape and the people of South Africa. We will come back. We will share what's our next vision and what's our next goal. But reassured, we will be around the space. We will be, we understand. We will be given names on social media. They will want to find out our backgrounds, what have we done. It's fine. We have taken the journey. Why wait until now? As young as I am and my colleagues, I'm saying for the fight for the cause of the people, not for the cause of ourselves.
I think that's it. I hope you have any other questions.
And we just need some Afrikaans.
Yes, that's a bit gevaarlijk.
Short.
I want to be sure if I heard this correctly in the chamber. Did you say that it will not be the last speech of Patricia de Lille?
I said in the chamber that it was an exit speech, but it's not her last speech. That's what anything. No, I just said it's not a last speech. So she's still going to make a lot of speeches coming.
What does that mean?
You read into it. As a journalist, you tell me.
Do you know something that means?
It's just not a last speech. She's not done with South Africa. She's still going to produce a lot of good things for South Africa and engage communities all over South Africa for the better of South Africa.
Afrikaans quickly.
Jy wil iets sê oor Afrikaans.
Can I go?
You can go.
Thank you. Ek gaan hom sommer so in Kaapse vlakte Afrikaans praat, so julle moet verstaan. Ons is van die Kaapse vlakte. Ek is van Kaapse vlakte, so ek sê dit soos dit is. Ons is gatvol van die DA. Ons is so gatvol dat ons vandag uitgetree het as die hoofsweep van die stad Kaapstad, as 'n raadslid in die stad Kaapstad en ook as 'n demokratiese alliansie lid van die party. Daar's baie dinge wat gebeur het oor die laaste 18 maande in die DA, die manier hoe hulle vir Patricia de Lille gehanteer het, die victimization en abuse en die bullying wat hulle, die taktieke wat hulle het in die DA. Dit is een van die redes hoekom ons vandag of hoekom ek geloop het. Daar's baie wat gebeur het oor die 18 maande waar ons met James self en Musi Mayamani gekonsulteer het oor hoe hulle verskillende standaarde het vir sekere lede en vir anders. Die manier hoe ons gehanteer word in die party in, en dit was op dowe ore. Vir 18 maande het Musi Mayamani vir ons basies geïgnoreer. Ek het vir hom gesê, hy hanteer ons as stiefkinders binne in hierdie party. En na die 15de Februarie wat ons teen die motion gewout het van die Meyer, het die victimisasie begin. En van daar af tot nou toe het daar nog nooit rus gekom vir ons nie, want gedurende die tyd het die lede van die party vir ons gevictimise en geboelie continuously. Daar's baie rasisme binne in die DA. Ek sê nie al die kollegas in die DA is rassisties nie, maar daar is baie van hulle wat nog rassisties is, wat in key positions in die party sit. As ons kyk na die 20 direkteure by nasionale kantoor van die DA, 14 van hulle is wit. As ons kyk na die provincial managers in die provinsie van die Wes-Kaap, al die provincial managers is wit. As ons kyk, Ellen Wendy was al 18 maande geïdentifiseer om die premierskandidaat te wees, want die blanke minority, wat die majority geld het, het 'n besluit gemaak dat hulle sal geld gee aan die party DA as Ellen Wendy die premierskandidaat is. Ons het geweet in Augustus maand dat Dan Plato die burgemeesterskandidaat is, en dit is nog voor die interviews begin het. So ek wil sê dat freedom, fairness en opportunity wat die DA so preek aan Suid-Afrika is nie dieselfde wat hulle implementeer. Kom ons gaan kyk na die statistieke, en laat ek dit ook sê in Afrikaans, ek het dit in Engels gesê nie, maar ek gaan dit sê in Afrikaans. 875.000 kleerlingstemme teen 440.000 blanke stemme, maar ons het 2 kleerling MEC's. Dan Plato kom uit, daar's net Ivan Meyer en daar is net Albert Fritz. 875,000 colored votes, 440 white votes, but we've got 2 colored MECs and 2 black MECs. And besides those 2 black MECs are husband and wife, Bongikosi Matikizela and Noma French Mbombo, they're husband and wife. So the family is just enriching themselves within this party. I won't speak about the cake as yet. Ons praat nog af so in 'n stilling Afrikaans. Ons gaan nie oor die koek nou praat nie, dit sal ons later oor gesels. Baie dankie.
Can you just do that line again? What did you say?
Nee man.
My pastor kyk die ding aan. My Afrikaans is ook nie so van die beste nie, want my Afrikaans is athlons. Okay, so my rede vandag, ek resign vandag as MYCO lid in die stad Kaapstad. Ek resign as DA lid. Ek voel dat die treatment wat ons nou gekry het in die party is nie dieselfde wat my ander wit kollegas kry nie. Ons word geviktimiseer want ons is gesien as mense wat saam met die Meyer gestaan het, want ons het vrae gevra wat hulle nie kon antwoord nie. Ons vra nog steeds hy vrae, ons kry nog steeds nie die antwoorde nie. Ons kry mense se opinies wat ons moet volg. Ek volg niemand se opinie nie. Jy moet vir my feite gee voor ek vir jou kan volg. Maar jou opinie, almal het 'n opinie. So jy kan nie verwag dat ek vir jou moet volg omdat jy 'n opinie het nie. And so I've made that decision. Ek het die besluit geneem dat ek maar liewerste buite die stad, buite die party sal vir my mense beklei. My mense het hulle dienste baie dringend nodig. En so ek kan nie my sien as 'n lid van die party nie meer nie. So Sean gesê het, ons het hoeveel keer na die party toe gegaan om vir hulle te vra om asseblief net die probleme uit te sorteer. Wanneer hulle caucus toe kom, dan word dit gesê, ons werk saam maar hulle. So ons het 'n hulle geword in ons eie party, want ons wil net nie saamstem wat hulle vir ons voorlê nie. En so vandag is ek nie meer 'n hulle nie, ek is Suzette Little. Ek is 'n lid van die wonderlike stad Kaapstad. Ek is 'n leier in die stad Kaapstad en ek sal een bly, want ek sal my mense dien. Dankie.
Just to say, we are already getting WhatsApps and SMSs.
Calls.
And calls, but for now, just WhatsApps and SMSs saying that people are leaving. People are leaving. So it's out there, and we'll deal with it in the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Can you also give me a number? Can you write down?